Welcome back to the Pet Zone podcast with Victoria, Christine, Kim, and Laura. Fueled by clippers, caffeine, and the kind of humor HR would not approve of. Now let's jump back into the conversation.
Called Kula cloth. They make the cup for the vajay and make reusable toilet paper. Actually, it's not the most California thing.
What I was saying is Victoria had said that it sounds like something Sweet Treats would make.
It does. It's Sweet Treats also makes a Kula cloth.
You know what? Why we're here?
It's actually made in the Pacific Northwest in Washington State. It was created by Anastasia Allison, a hiker and violinist from Washington. I love this girl and I want to know her already. Right. I want to hike with her and play the violin.
I actually have one from when we're driving on road trips. And then we also have the male version for my husband because, you know, you get stuck on some of these country roads. There's no. Yep. So, in some places.
There's nothing.
There's some places you don't want to go out and pee in the woods because they have bear.
And on the West Coast, y'all's bears are something totally different. Listen, our black bears, it's like Winnie the fucking Pooh, man. They're just like, doo, 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 doo. You can just easily go, hey, bear. Like, you don't even have to fire a round off. Grizzly bears, they will fucking chase your ass like up a fucking tree.
Our black bears, there's always like one or two that go in during the winter, go in people's backyards and into their jacuzzis, and people will go in their jacuzzis, and there's a bear in their jacuzzi, and he's like, "Get the fuck away from my jacuzzi."
One of my clients lives One of my clients lives up in
finish.
The bears. So I'll walk out and it's one of the most beautiful settings, and I'm there every Monday. And I'll walk out, but it starts all of a sudden you're walking and 15 feet away from you is a giant bear and her cubs, and I was like, oh, but it's so awesome.
Yeah. It's humbling. We have humanized and fucked their world up so much by coexisting with them. I don't know what the creator was thinking about it when he made the bear, because we should not be around each other. We're terrible influences on each other. All the bears in my area in Stroudsburg, they get into all the hotel trash. So they eat buffet. I hope I never have to shoot one ever, because they have the metabolic health of a 45-year-old fucking person in America. Like, what do you eat? Oh, you know, if you talk to any other bears, nuts, berries, salmon. When you talk to a bear in freaking Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, oh, I eat the standard American diet. I got high cholesterol and blood pressure and diabetes. It's terrible.
Mountain Dew.
Absolutely terrible.
McDonald's.
Freaking gallons of Mountain Dew, McDonald's. But
are you going to Hershey this year?
Yeah, you know what? I did not go this past year. I'm definitely going to go this year. Every year that even if I make it or if I don't, whether I've had teaching assignments or I've just gone as an observer or a competitor, it's like the worst time of year for me. That's why I always I commend I spent many years consistently going to shows, and now I'm very strategic the ones that I pick, because life it gets in the way. September through August is such a crazy time because all my seasonal clients come back. I have to completely change my routing and my schedule. And it's always on Labor Day weekend, and before it's been the week before, it's been the week after, but it's just it's always a time where I'm in a state of catch up, and it's always a very bad time, so I can never really just enjoy it. But I haven't gone the past I think this past year, so I definitely want to go the following year.
I want to go.
I missed going this year. I didn't realize how bad it was going to bother me. I don't know why. I just love Hershey.
We only have here now Pasadena, Tacoma. Vegas is no longer doing grooming competitions.
If you consider Colorado.
Colorado and
Arizona now.
Yeah.
So hopefully.
Yeah, it's you know what?
Uh,
I think it might be good to actually kind of go on record talking about the Vegas show.
Right? We
I
can.
obviously you've we've all competed before. We all were involved in that world, and we're all, not balls deep into it anymore that we can have an opinion on it. Um, I'm truly, obviously at the end of the day, these things are businesses,
Yep.
and people make business decisions based on what they do. The show circuit portion of things, I've been a competitor, and I've been somebody that's been involved in the teaching portion of it, and then I've also been supportive for my vendors. And I understand all the working parts of it. I don't understand why we're gonna remove this thing from this circuit that is being funded by other sources. I mean, granted, it's a business decision they're making, and we can respect that. But in the same token, for the 40 people that this makes happy,
Yeah.
which feeds another ecosystem, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make
Well,
business sense to me, and it doesn't make emotional sense to me if somebody who, was invested into these things. So if their thinking is, oh, this other show on the other side of the country, the East Coast has got shows up the ass, like the West Coast like doesn't, which really surprises me.
well, in Vegas is a weird show because it's so spread out and so big.
Yeah.
Where it's part of what I like about a lot of the other, like it's what I like with Pasadena. You see everybody. There's some restaurants, and you can leave.
yeah,
It's a nice little
I
meetup.
love. Tacoma's smaller than even Pasadena, but I love Tacoma, or I
Mm.
did until COVID. I haven't been back since, but I loved the quaintness of
Yeah.
Tacoma.
And Vegas is just
Mm.
so spread out and huge. And I mean, just staying in the city.
It's also Vegas. You know what I mean? It's something where there's something for everybody, and it's one of those trips where like a missus can say, "Hey, husband, you're coming. Child, you're coming. Everybody's coming. This is a thing for a family. I'm gonna be fucking off for like 3 days, and we can all fuck off together in
But
the
the
evening."
Well,
And
Super Zoo for the vendors is really super expensive because you've
yeah.
got the Teamsters and they have to bring the stuff in and they get charged. So if a vendor wants to bring their own stuff in, they can't do that. They have to go to the Teamsters. So they're getting charged. They're getting charged. Vegas is expensive to do a show. I get
mm,
so they were losing vendors. I know that. They were losing a lot of grooming vendors. Um, if you looked over the last couple of years or last few years, the grooming area was getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and a lot of that had to do with the vendors. We're not seeing it worthwhile to go because it was so much more. In a lot of aspects, the smaller shows were more profitable for them to go, or they break even.
yeah.
Most of
Well,
these shows is
oh,
all about.
sorry. Go ahead.
It's not about making
Yeah. They
so
don't
much
make
more
any
money.
money.
They make
Yeah.
leads.
I think every
Well,
group.
the biggest thing I think that all the show corporations are hitting is they're everything reaches a point where it needs to evolve. I think that they should have an option for two types of vendor: the on the floor vendor and a virtual vendor. A
I absolutely.
virtual vendor that gives you, hey, we're going to set up a kiosk for you where you're going to have an iPad, a digital display, and basically it'll be a monitor like this. Hi, welcome to Smiling. Okay, welcome to Sweet Treats. You make them, we break them. So good. It's so nice to see you. I'm so glad. You must be having such an amazing time at the show. So, do you want to know our specials? I got tons of specials. All right, cool. So, if you press this little button right here, boom, you get a free sample popping up. Something interactive. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like we're in the stone fucking ages with so many things that they could really capitalize on this. Like, in the point where, hey, listen, there are 100 vendors that can't afford they can't afford the bandwidth, the financial means to move the products to the location, but and then the show's losing money because they need that rent to be able to pay for the show. Like, if you were to do a virtual setup, then everybody can have a seat on the table. Some
Abs-
people don't want to haul out same day shit.
No.
When I travel to a show, I'm like, I want a show price. I want to meet my vendor. I want to shoot the shit. I want to do this, that, and the other. But I don't want to I don't want to fly all this shit back with me. Most people don't buy things in person anymore. And even the shows, they're not hauling gallons of fucking shampoo with
no,
them unless it's, unless it's some of the really larger shows. So what I don't understand is it's 2025. We need to act like it's 2025. And I think a lot of the show coordinators, again, they've done beautiful things. Some of these people have inherited these shows and they are, they're the third generation pushing it through. Hire some 20-year-olds. Like, hire some 20-year-olds to help kind of move in, shake your shit around, So I think that there is a lot of room to change how we do this. And I think virtualization would be amazing.
so when I was working the booth for Yves Saint Bernard, the people that were there at Pasadena, the people that were there that were local, they'd come and get some stuff. But even if it was going to be a huge order, even them they would have it sent.
Yeah.
But everyone else that was trying came in with their order, and it was being sent to them.
Mhm.
So I get what you're saying. The kiosk idea might be. I can't believe I'm saying this because I was one of those people that they're taking the kiosk is going to take someone's job, but now I'm like,
Yeah, listen, then it gives that worker something more to spend their bandwidth on. We're more than our positions. Like, we're supposed to want the next generation to have it easier. So like, I think that, again, the kiosk being somebody that is, the company invests in a personality. I hate the word influencer. It makes me want to yark all over
yeah,
my table. I think that best thing is you make a character that you invest to promote. And it could very easily be somebody overseas. It could be somebody local. It could be an AI. But either way, that's what the consumer gets to interact with. Like, oh my God, Bubbles! What's up, Bubbles? I love Bubbles. Like,
we
it, the way the show ecosystem is operating, the pandemic showed a lot of us our asses that, hey, this show that's happening right now is being paid for. It's not being paid for money that's been materialized. It's the money that's going into it that's funding it. And when COVID happened and then it got turned back on and people were moving and grooving again, it became apparent that, like, hey, you don't have the money for this yet. You need the monies coming in to pay for the things. And like, listen, not that business doesn't operate that way. There's been plenty of times when a new business operates where they need that money, like, to operate. But when you've been doing something for 30, 40, 50 years, that money should be there, and then it shouldn't be an issue from a future show being threatened to impact the business
yes,
of the entire line. And that's what a lot of the financial strains has been uncovered, just based on a couple years of closures, illnesses, natural disasters. And it shouldn't be that way, because we should be borrowing from the future to pay for today for something that's been established.
Agreed.
100%.
I also think every groomer needs to spend time working in a booth to understand what the vendors go through.
Absolutely.
Because I have so many, for people who you will see on Facebook be like, I don't let my clients talk to me that way. I do this, this, and this. And then they'll go to a vendor. Well, I want that for free, and I want you to do this, and I want to overnight it to my place for free, and then talk it and steal things. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like, how do you have high expectations and no patience? Like, that literally, like, it's,
oh my God, I have wine.
Yeah. It's listen, I gotta say, dog groomers are, we're like punching bags for animals and for people, but when it comes to the people that serve us, they're not always great.
No.
I would say the reason what has kept me on my best behavior, because there's been times I've wanted to be a dick. The reason that's kept me minding my P's and Q's is I pause for a minute and remember, social media is the most humbling best teacher, because if I act like an asshole, there's gonna be a page that's created that says Laura Jane's an asshole.
Oh,
And that shit really happens. So it's
especially in pet
I
grooming.
Yeah.
you know, it's just surprising to me though that it's a problem, because it's not like, oh, it's just these youngins coming in that are jerks. No, there's people literally as old as 65 that are berating
Mhm.
a vendor, berating a cashier. And when I see that shit, I don't get nice. I don't get nice at all.
No,
I'm not one of those people that can be like, I'm gonna stand here and watch this. Like, all right, cool, hold my drink. I need to beat up this woman right now. Like, and that's how it goes. I don't like it when people are not kind to vendors, to people that work in the booth. Somebody who's working a booth, if they're being paid,
yeah,
if
might be
you see, the
just
most of the people that are running the front lines of any of these things are not being paid.
mm-mm.
They're not. A lot of people that are teaching the classes, you think, oh, they got to be getting paid big bucks. Be surprised. Most of them aren't. Some do.
Yeah.
Big names do. But regular people, they're like, I just need lodging, or what, I just want to be a part of this. And a lot of people aren't being paid. So it's like, when you're being a dick to somebody that donated their time because they believed in a product, a vendor, the company, the movement. And that's just when it just gets wrong, you know?
That's absolutely true. Absolutely true.
So we should make them all volunteer. Everybody volunteers an hour in the booth at the busiest time.
Yeah.
And then we stick Veronica on
Oh,
them.
Veronica's going to be that pain in the ass groomer. I want it for free. Well, Amazon Prime gets it to me overnight. Why can't you?
Yeah.
So
So fucked up.
I had a groomer that I was going to her salon and helping her with some of the problems she had at her salon, and she was complaining about customers that they're wanting it for free, blah blah blah. Then I heard her talking to a distributor on the phone, and she was treating that distributor the same way her customers that she was complaining about was treating her. When she got off the phone, I brought it to her attention, and she goes, I don't do that. So I mimicked the whole phone conversation, and she got really quiet, and then she went, oh my God, I am the person I'm complaining about. I said, yeah. So all those things that you're complaining about aren't working? She goes, yeah. I said, you're part of the problem. And
Yeah.
she just took a moment, and she had a humbling moment, and she
Yeah.
called the computer, apologized, and was like nice after that. And
Yeah.
it's get caught in our own heads. We see this all the time. People do it.
Yeah.
We say we don't like it, blah blah blah, but half the time
Then we turn around and do it.
and we mimic it.
Yeah. I think showing a mirror is one of the most best lessons. And again, I have been every kind of ugly. I'm not like absolved from bad behavior. In the past 42 years of life, I have behaved badly. I have been every monster and every nightmare, including my own. And a mirror is the most invaluable tool of self-reflection. And sometimes you don't get that privilege of that self-awareness until you're older. And if you get the pleasure of obliterating your ego at a young age, that's amazing. But you know what I mean? Sometimes you got to check people, and it's
Get checked.
you get checked. It is what it is. We are in a female dominated industry, and which cultivates a lot of henpecking and a lot of hazing. And if it never feels good when it's being done to you, but man, it feels good in the moment when you're doing it to someone else, and especially when you get some backup. And that's just kind of what perpetually, dude, when we were coming up into this, we were taught by the silent generation and the greatest generation. That is a generation that quite literally gave no fucks at all. And you could like have a limb blown off and you're expected to go to work. And we realize, I think, one thing that we realize is a lot of the things that we hold ourselves to as work ethic and strong character, it's a trauma response to how we were trained. Like the fact that we'll pour glue in our wounds and hold a finger that's gushing blood and continue grooming. That's not because we're badass. It's a trauma response.
Yeah.
You're laughing because I bet you've done it.
I've used gauze and vet wrap more than once.
Yep.
I've
It's
super
a trauma
glued
response.
I
And
super glued knuckle back together.
yeah. I found myself when teaching younger groomers where I've caught myself and stopped myself like, hey, you know what? When I just told you, don't do that.
Don't
Take
put quick.
5. Take a break.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just you catch yourself because finding the balance between being a badass and being a softie, it took me a while because I was too soft for a little while and I ended up spoiling perfectly good employees. I can't even call them bad because I feel like just like with bosses, every bad boss could have been a good boss at some point and every bad employee could have had the potential of being a good employee, but just kind of like conditioning a parrot to being your pet. If you smother it with attention and love too much in the beginning and then stop, it then motherfucks you for the next 90 years of its life.
Or if you say things in the background or say anything, the parrot then fucking says every single fucking thing you say, except the one thing you want the little shit to say. He won't say it. He'll say half of it and then he'll laugh at you.
Yep. That's exactly true. That is exactly true. So
I
yeah,
have a parrot that likes to torment Victoria.
Oh, he's a dick. I love him though, but he's a dick.
She's been trying to teach him to say water cooler, and he'll literally go, water, and then she'll go, and then as soon as she turns around and goes in the room, he goes, cooler.
I caught him one time. One time I caught him. I was like, I caught you. And then he didn't say shit. He was just quiet.
That's funny.
Water.
He torments.
They are amazing creatures, but it's that beginning is what shapes them for the rest of their lives. And it's just kind of like when you have an employee, you hire a new employee and you're like, I was employed by dicks and they were shitty to me, so I'm gonna be the boss I always wanted. And then they think that, oh, cool, I can do whatever I want because this is my friend. This is my friend. This is okay. She's not gonna mind. And then every boundary of yours gets crossed, and then you want to choke the poor person, and they don't even realize they've done something wrong.
Guilty of doing that.
Yeah. Oof. I have ruined some perfectly amazing staff members, and it was just like, they can go somewhere else and with a stronger boss, and they will do amazing. I ruined them, and that was like in I would say the early years of when I opened up Hair of the Dog. It's just so easy. I feel like there needs to be a boss school. Like there needs to be a school where you need to work. I think that one of the most important things you could possibly do as a business owner that's going to manage people, especially if you're going to be an owner operator, is go to therapy. Before doing it, go to therapy and iron out all the wrinkles.
Learn the boundaries.
It's funny because some of my biggest successes in the business, some of my business successes were right after I was hitting a wall, and I took a step back and I'm like, okay, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
I changed my mindset. As soon as I changed my mindset,
100%.
Especially with employees, that's when I had my biggest successes.
Yeah.
And it happens in cycles. Because the new problems come up.
Yeah.
It's evolving.
And just learned boundaries recently in life. I'm new to them. I love them. But I did lose some friendships once I started saying
it's boundaries are not a tool of popularity. Boundaries are to maintain your sanity.
Changing.
I lost family.
And she was like, well, you set healthy boundaries and this person's unhealthy and they don't understand it. And I was like, well, that's a them problem then because I'm not dealing with it.
I'm extremely happy with the friend, sister, wife, auntie, business owner, boss. I'm all the roles that I play and all the hats where I'm really, really, really happy with what I've grown into, and I'm in midlife, so I'm looking forward to what the next decade in character building. But it's just because I'm so I'm in a state of self-awareness where I'm like, I don't have any pride anymore. So when I fuck up, I'm like, I fucked up. I need to fix this. I don't stew in things. When I realize I've made a mistake, I want to fix, and I'm able to press pause in the middle of a rageful moment and say, you know what? This is an upsetting situation. I lifting weights has actually been a big help with that. Hiking and lifting weights. When I have to make big decisions, I will overwhelm my central nervous system by lifting heavy. Doing a really intense task. And if I can't lift, running to the point of collapsing, really pushing like your breath out to the point where you get your heart rate up. Sauna sits, sitting past the point where you feel comfortable. I feel like if I'm able to pause out of that moment and stress out my nervous system and then come back to making a decision, I fare at it much better.
Well, I feel like as humans, we haven't quite evolved to our lifestyles of we don't put ourselves in that where we exhaust ourselves out to where our bodies have to just maintain, and your brain doesn't have the time to overthink all the things.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, we get in our animal brain,
of course,
and get in our animal brain. But yeah, it's hey, listen, life is an interesting it is an interesting, it has an interesting way of teaching us about ourselves and our paths and our things. And like I it's amazing being able to use tools like social media to even just see our counterparts, our friends that we interact with, that we know in real life, and seeing them evolve and go through it. It's cool. It's definitely really cool. The interesting time to be alive.
Yeah, it is. It's exciting too because it's changing, and some of the technology that's coming out.
I know.
Well, just these everybody has the access.
Even at my, because we're becoming in an age where we should be going into retirement. I'm going to be that person.
Yeah, fuck, that's not happening.
The second that I retire, they're going to be planning my funeral because I don't know how not to work. So now I can't continue doing what I've been doing physically, but I have opportunities that 10, 15 years ago I wouldn't have.
There, exactly. It is an amazing time to be alive. And we've also seen how, I would say, not so much, like maybe a little bit of the silent generation and some of the older boomers that have been in retirement for more than 15, 20 years. If these are people that were driven by their jobs and then their jobs were no longer a thing, yeah, you can travel the world and have fun and freaking do all the things, but if you don't have a purpose to drive you, I've seen those people where I don't see them for a decade and they look 95.
Or cops, years of being a cop, die from a heart attack after retiring.
Yeah, I mean, like our brains and our brains are a muscle in itself. Our bodies are muscles in itself. And if you don't use it, you will get autophagy and you will just wither. And my adopted family, they've been, my adopted mother, she has been retired for 30 years. My adopted father, he still does consults. He's a electric engineer, and so he's still much in the background doing research and stuff, but he's for the most part, he's retired. And I've seen how it has served them. I think that I think that human beings, we do not do good in a stagnant form. We kind of need one foot in certainty and then one foot in the abyss. And I think that healthy balance of struggle and struggle, because we're no longer having to go into the forest quite literally and hunt our food. So we're not earning our food anymore. So
No.
the struggle we have is solving complex things and having to maintain what we've worked for. So if you take that away and you're just sitting good, I just don't think we're meant to exist that way. So I think chasing the American retirement dream, where cool, my house is paid off, I'm going to just sit and chill, Nah, that's not going to be for me. I do not. I hope to not be grooming the rest of my life. I think that,
Same.
I love my job, but I obviously I don't want to groom for the rest of my life. I like to think I have other things that I can contribute and do for other people that are coming into this industry when it's, their turn to take over the reins, so to speak. So but we're supposed to do stuff. We're supposed to do things.
And so in the last few years, we've had my husband and I have had some major things happen. So I physically can't groom anymore, and because I broke my back and I have problems with my hands now, it's not safe for me to be holding a pair of scissors on a little gray poodle's face.
Kylo.
But we've evolved our shop that we could be doing other things. Our shop is set up for groomers and stuff like that. So for right now, that's working for right now. But eventually, I want to go into something else because you catch me. I miss it. I miss the hands-on part of it. So you will catch me try, and then I go pay for it later with
Yeah.
paint and everything
Well,
like that.
I think something that also is worth acknowledging and saying and is some people, it's not just our industry, our trades become our identity and we don't know how to do anything else. So when I was working myself, 5 days a week, 12, 14 hours a day, and then spending the weekend to crash, drink, eat good, catch up with friends, then it was 4 days a week and spend one day physically paying for what I did to my body all week, and then 2 days to get caught up on housework and everything, just so you can save up to have maybe 2 trips a year and, be able to shop and get the things that you need to do. And you know, I just recently decreased to 3 grooming days a week. Now I do work from home, and I do consult for nutrition and health and wellness, and then I work with my team running hair of the dog behind the scenes. So since then, it's been allowing me to kind of nourish those other interests. And I know it's kind of like a douchey way to put it, but finding what was your life before dog grooming consumed your world. And instead of having, because it becomes to a point where like dog grooming became such an identity for me that it was like I was dog grooming's hobby. So dog grooming was the person and the hobby was me, because I ate, slept, and breathed it. I went to dog shows. I spent all my income, all the company's income, on supplies and stuff and things. And then all my friends were dog show people and all my friends were vendors, to the point where like my whole friend list, my whole world was just consumed with pet related shit. And even my business page, it was no longer my clients, it was just dog show people. And it's not that I don't love them, but it was like I lost every shred of an identity that I could possibly ever show for. So if this is where I'm at, 20 some odd years into this, and I know I'm not alone with this, it's what's going to happen when it's time to hang up the scissors. Now, in the past, this has been happening to people as the next generation has been, the generation entering retirement has been, but this is the first time it's being like it's being exposed where you can see it, because we're all connected on social media. So normally these things would be happening very privately and you just hear about it if you were with that person, but now these things are on social media being broadcasted, where you can see that groomer that you spent all the money to learn from and that you've known for years, and you've seen their whole career unfold, and you're seeing them retired, and you're seeing the depression. You're seeing the slipping. Like it's really weird to actually say you can visualize somebody's undoing just by a digital feed, and it's insane.
Yeah, or they get sucked into crazy things on Facebook and you're just like, oh, this person's not well.
No, it's some of the most successful people. Some of the most successful people are some of the people that you need to check up on the most.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't think that, oh, this person's so lucky, they have everything. That those people, when you actually get to spend time with them, you could realize just how gentle, soft, and vulnerable they are, because they don't have, I mean, I'm not even gonna name names, but like I had a hardcore competitor friend, and when she would win, she would get really drunk, and then she'd be in her hotel room, and I would go back, and this happened more than once, where she'd be holding her trophy, rolling around in the bed like, oh my
Mm.
God, I did it, I'm worth something. I'm not kidding, and it's just, it gets really dark when it gets to this, because some people, man, they win, you think, oh, they're being egotistical. When they lose, they are freaking so hard on themselves. Like, I've come back to a hotel room that's trashed, eye makeup running down the freaking face. I'm a loser. I suck. I have no, I just wasted this amount of money. I had people that invested in me. And it's just like, whoa, you are like the most successful person I know. Like, you're doing great. You're doing an amazing job. You should not be this hard on yourself. And there's no penetrating that, because that's what they believe in their hearts. And it's very, 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 very common. And
It's sad.
everything people do that involves passion, there's a cost.
Hmm.
And it's anytime I've met people that said, oh, I want to get into competing, I know you competed, something you want to do, I'm like, yeah, it's an amazing, very fulfilling thing, and it depends on what you're looking to get out of it. If you're looking to get education out of it, it's amazing. This is what you do, this is how you do it, these are the people you're going to network with. If it's, you want fame, if you want attention, if you want to win, if it's competitive, if it's groom team, you're going to have to familiarize yourself with having skin that is extremely thick, and learning how to take critiques, learning how to understand you're going to fail, and when you get to a certain point, people are going to critique you worse. And even when you win excessively, everybody's going to hate you when you win all the
Hmm.
time. And so you need to just be able to stomach that. And yeah, I don't think a lot of people realize. And the people I know that this is their world, this is what they do, they don't regret it. They love what they do, but they understood the cost.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same with horse shows.
It's the same with
Whole of the
any kind.
world. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
same thing. Just whole crazy freaking world, man. Hats off to the people that do it. It is it again, it's a huge dedication, and a lot of people just, again, they don't think, when you're just kind of on the outskirts watching it happen, whether it be dog shows, whether it be horse shows, whether it be confirmation shows. Oh my God, this looks like such a pretty, friendly world. Um, and there are people that literally just, you would not think how much they're chewing themselves up inside over every misstep, every mistake, every issue. And it's crazy.
on top of dealing with a live animal that has its own opinion, own
Yeah.
mind. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh
with
yeah.
especially
Exactly.
whew, going
I,
down
I I've
be great.
seen, yeah, yeah, it's crazy. I've seen even, yeah, grooming competitors come unglued with a uncooperative dog, and there were people I knew. It was a person I knew personally. I knew she was a good person, but she lost complete control of her temper on on her pet, not a rented show dog. Her pet, her pride and joy, came completely unglued, completely lost it, just because the dog was being a dog. And that's the kind of pressure you need to ask yourself, can you be under and maintain your cool? Because this is a very
Hmm.
different time. Whereas you made a mistake 15, 20 years ago,
No one knew it.
you're going to have people are going to hold you accountable in a very different way. Now you're going to have not just your city and state hold you accountable, the world will decide.
There's going to be video of it, and everybody's going to see, and it's
Yeah,
going to.
it's crazy. And like, granted, it's just
Perspective.
it's the world we live in.
Yep.
And they're going to have their different perspective, and then especially on social media, that's going to become what happened. Now what it actually happened is different, but that's the world we live in.
Did you see that video sometime over the summer? I think of some lady posted it in the high desert here about, I think it was, anyways, I could be wrong where it was at, but a vet kicking her horse.
Oh yeah, I think so.
And it was just out of context. What it was like basically a fair stallion.
Yeah, well,
And
he
was
grabbed her. or grabbed the vet, right? Bit him or
Yeah,
something.
and the horse was just completely uncooperative. He had already tried to sedate it. It got so bad online that the vet killed himself.
Yeah.
He disappeared. They found
So
him.
they cut the video though, so they didn't
trimmed it.
show the beginning of the video where the horse attacked the vet. The reaction of the vet was to get away from the horse, but the way they cut it, you didn't see
You just
that.
see a horse laying down and a guy kicking it.
I think that we are entering a point in society where I think every single thing that is uploaded and posted on the internet, the full entire video needs to go into a saving bank. If you choose to post something, then the whole content to the video has to go in a saving bank. So if you post it, somebody chops it up, screen records it, does whatever, and somebody takes something out of context, then there is a third party that says, hey, this has gone viral. The OP has requested that the original document be uploaded so we can make judgment on this, because people, again, losing jobs or losing everything, and in some cases it's warranted, but we need to have some kind of third party narration to basically say that, hey, this is the OP's upload, and this is the entire video in context. And that's why it invites an entire different nuance of how much surveillance is there going to. Yeah, it's crazy. It's really, really, really crazy. It's amazing how fast the world's changing.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder, is this, when you look at like some of the inventions that happened in the early 19th century, I mean, like our grandparents, they saw a lot. I mean, you have the Benjamin Franklin had invented a plethora of things as they tried to bring regular forced heat air throughout homes and urban areas. The Victrola, telephone, TVs, obviously cars. So many different things were being created so quickly. Like, it must have, I guess the best way we can describe is the digital whiplash we're having at our age, because we grew up with the technology. It didn't grow up from our birth. We came into this in adult life.
Yeah, there's definitely been a learning curve.
I know. You can't blink. You can't blink anymore. You can't afford to blink. And it's, I have so much respect for older people to say, what I care about is I got to make sure that sun comes up and that the rains come. And then the winter winters, the fall falls, and the spring and the summer so I can get my vegetables and my fruits in the ground, and I got to raise this cow, and I don't care about this whole other world you guys have created for yourself, because I just need to worry about the sunshine and the climate, and that's what I worry about. And I have so much, like, the Amish, indigenous population of the world, never minds like the American indigenous, but I mean just the world in general. The people that just don't subscribe to it, and they're just like, I don't subscribe to the corporation. I live in my bubble. I have no problem with it. I have no opinions. I don't know anything about it. The ignorance is bliss is such a beautiful thing. It's kind of like if you opened up Pandora's box. If we never peeked, what would have happened to society if we didn't? If we never peeked into this box of social media and the internet,
or the 24-hour news cycle.
I know. Like, do you remember there was a time where we never knew the news around the country? We didn't give a shit. Whatever was going on in Texas, whatever was going on in New York, whatever was going on in California, unless you had a friend there, and you wouldn't really be tuned into it.
Yeah. All up in your face, and
it's crazy. I think it psychologically has. I don't think that human beings were not meant to hear the constant state of the world.
No. It's none of my business.
It's none your business.
Remember when we had to wait to get home to get our messages off the answering
machine?
machine?
I miss those days. I was just talking to somebody about, you would go out, fart about for the day, and you come home like, all right, Bill, call mom, call dad, overdue, phone shut off, shit. Cool.
Right?
Whatever. Like,
now we
those
have
are some cool days.
So we have like now that person that wants to get a hold of you, before you just, they'd call your answer machine and leave a message, and they'd have to wait for you to listen to that message. Nowadays, they're sending a text, they're blowing up your phone, they're sending an email, and it's like you're calling up. Well,
I don't respond to that.
Yeah. I've again, boundaries are important. I've learned how to take control of my chaos, in the sense that visiting hours are 9 to 5, and if I show up at 10 by 6, well, I guess, all right, I didn't mean to quote Alanis Morissette there, but it's too much to ask for, and I am not the doctor. Freaking
Are we going
her.
to get a show tune out of you or a song out of you every time?
What was that other song you sang last time?
I have it clipped somewhere.
Oh, the everyone's a little bit racist sometimes. Doesn't mean we go around committing hate crimes. Ethnic jokes may be uncouth, but we laugh because they're based on truth. Don't take them as personal attacks, 'cause everyone is racist, so relax. That's a good one.
I hope that anybody hearing this, it'll help their algorithms. You know, because your phones are always.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, Avenue Q is the bomb.
How?
Because I don't open things from people on Instagram. I only watch the things I want to watch. So now, well, it's changed a little bit right now. There's a lot of dark comedy in there. There's a lot of making fun of Jewish people. I'm Jewish, it's allowed. And then
the Jews have all the money and the whites have all the power. And I'm always stuck in Laxi cab with liver who no shower. Me too. I can't even get a taxi. Sorry, Andy.
I love it. And then cat videos. Oh, cat.
I feel like we need to have dinner with the show.
Right?
Yes.
Cat videos, cats doing metal videos.
Oh my God, yeah. Do you guys remember, I have a pen, I have an apple, apple pen. I have a pen, I have pineapple, pineapple pen. Apple pen, pineapple pen, pineapple and apple pen. Please tell me you remember this.
Nope, but I feel like I'm stoned now. Thank you.
Oh my God, it's so great. Dude, it came out in like 2009. It was just this Asian guy in a suit, and he was just like, he held up an apple and he held up a pen, and he sang a song. It was great. It was amazing.
I'm sure it was. I don't remember it. We're gonna have to look it up.
It was. Just put in pineapple pen, and the music is amazing. It's vintage. It's iconic.
Pineapple pen.
You found it? It's like she's dancing and it's not even on yet.
It's in my head. I'm not even listening to it.
Every year.
We don't want ads.
Take the next step in treating your
Hold on, we gotta let the ad come.
The next step of treating your genital herpes. Take
right?
Valtrex. Less itch and more bitch.
No leakage.
Do you suffer from anal leakage? Sure, we all do.
Whoa, what just happened? Let's retry that.
There we go. Wait.
Can I see? I don't think I've ever seen that.
I have a pen. I have an apple. Apple pen. I have a pen. I have pineapple. Pineapple pen. Apple pen. Pineapple pen. Cái pineapple apple pen.
She's like just.
Pineapple apple pen.
I don't know what's more funny. Yeah.
then one.
Please someone tell me what they put in the vaccines in 1983.
In the what?
In the vaccines in 1983. Because
I don't know.
I am special. I'm not on the spectrum. I am the spectrum.
I can't say I've ever seen that.
I have never seen that.
I don't remember that.
Oh my God. Do you feel like your whole life has been changed?
I'm trying to figure out what I was doing at that point in my life that I would have missed that.
I can't even remember.
Dude, it was like 2009, man. They were playing it in the freaking clubs in Miami. I literally lost my shit the first time I heard it. I was like, oh my God, when subculture infiltrates the mainstream. It's so great.
He won't stop now.
He just keeps... Look at it. She's so jamming to him.
It won't stop. I was trying to get the year, and he's like, no, you're going to hear it.
You know what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to find funny songs or crazy stuff and play it for Laura Jane to see her reaction.
You say my favorite one. What was the...
Oh my God. Beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I've always wanted to live in a house like yours, my friend. Maybe when there's nobody home, I'll break in. It's feel real good to walk streets again after being in jail doing 7 to 10. Would you be mine? Would you be mine? I wish, neighbor.
That was a young.
Oh God,
Eddie
I don't know.
Murphy.
Yeah, that was back when he was on SNL.
That was a young Eddie Murphy.
Yup.
Oh, Eddie Murphy. I don't think I'll repeat the jokes I've told Chris because I'm pretty sure we'd get banned on everything.
I do have one jangle which I have not taken out in a really long time. I'm trying to see if I can remember it. Man, why am I having a mind fart about this now? Okay, I made this during the pandemic when they put all these little huts in our parking spots and no one was enforcing traffic parking at all. It was amazing. It was a great time to be a mobile dog groomer that didn't want to pay for parking. I can park where I want. I don't have to give a shit because of social distancing. Hello, parking cops. Sorry, not a thing I can do because of what social distancing puts us through. Hey, diplomat, get out of our parking spot. Is this America or is this not? I will double park next to your restaurant because social distancing.
Fired. You can officially do our.
I will write a jingle for this show. I will totally write a freaking jingle for this show.
Shh! I was using one of those AI apps. What is it, Suno?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So you already did one, but
I changed the name.
I think she could do it much better.
I can write whatever you want. I listen. When I was a little kid, I pretty much wanted to be weird Laura instead of Weird Al Yankovic. I wanted to be weird Laura Jane Yankovic. I learned how to play the accordion. I was like really into all that shit. I still to this day have all of his songs memorized.
Accordion lessons too.
I haven't thought about
That's
Weird Al.
awesome.
I love Weird
Oh my
Al.
God, I do too.
Also, Dr. Demento. Yeah.
Oh, Weird Al, how we love you. No wonder we're all.
He hasn't done anything recent.
Do you remember Living with a Hernia? Help me out. All I do is grunt and groan. Hurts me to walk anywhere. Went to see my physician, Dr. Jones. He took my trousers off, told me to cough. Can't even do the splits now. Better call it quits now. I'm sick of all this dancing. Anyhow, living with the hernia. Ow! Too much back pain. I used to sing that at my dad because he had a hernia. He used to get so fucking mad. And this is back in a time where people still hit their kids pretty bad. Not enough where they would call CPS, like they'd beat you with a bag of oranges. It won't leave a bruise, but it'll still show them who's boss.
Did your mom have a wooden spoon?
Yup.
Yes.
Broke every single one across my ass. It turned into a kink thing when I got older. It's like, thanks, Mom. Now I've got sexual problems and ADHD.
I mean,
so my mom would threaten us with the wooden spoon. She would chase us, and back in we had a big, ginormous wooden spoon and a fork on the wall, ginormous. And this one time, my brother pissed my mom so off, and she was chasing him with the wooden spoon. He disappeared around the hall and into the kitchen. When she came around the corner, he's sitting on the dining room table with the freaking big, ginormous decorative spoon, and he's like, "Touche!" He's like sitting there trying to keep a straight face, and she's like, she yells at my dad. My dad comes running. He sees the scene. He bursts in laughing, and she goes, "No, shit!" And she's like,
literally, like. A lot of people don't realize, like, the violence that would happen in our homes. Like, we would run for our dear lives. Nowadays, people can't get their kids to move out. Like, back in the day, we would voluntarily move out at 13. No guarantees, no promises. Like, we just like, nope, just gonna sleep in a drain pipe because it's better than this.
seriously.
When I was 8, I ran away from home, and it was like, again, I love my adopted family. Like, they're good people. They were just different times. But like, I ran away, and like, the first time I ran away, I comically had the stick with the handkerchief, and I was like, all right, I got a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I got a juice box, I got a muffin, I got some Kix cereal. And like, this is like the mindset. Like, I'm gonna go out into the forest and I'm gonna start over. I found my lands. This is where I live. And like, I went through my snacks like in an hour, and I'm just like, Kix was a poor choice. Shit scrapes your fucking rooftop of your mouth. It's worse than Captain Crunch cereal. And it's just funny what goes on. When I was a teenager, I did run away again, like preteen. When I was like 12 or 13. I filled a guitar case filled with clothes. So I went to school, and my teachers didn't know what was going on. And then like, I took off on the bus afterwards, never to be seen from again until 2 days later, because it got cold and I ran out of food.
that's how it works.
The first time I ran away, we had just moved to California from New Jersey, and I was not adjusting. I was definitely not adjusting.
Oh, California to New Jersey? Jeez, what the fuck did you do to deserve that punishment?
From New Jersey to California.
Oh, okay. So first, for a second, I was like, they left California for New Jersey. I can understand, like, you know, after the fires, like current date, that would make sense. But like, leaving California for New Jersey now or then, like, people would be like, you crazy?
We left New Jersey and we came to California, and I hated California. Absolutely despised it. Still to this day. So I go around the corner. Crazy. My uncle and my aunt lived right behind us, and my dad called me. Chris ran away again. Gets on the other side of the street, and I come in. He goes, "Where are you going, kid?" I'm hiking back to New Jersey, and he goes, "That's a long hike. Do you have any idea?" And I said, "I looked it up on my globe." He's like, "It's a long."
Oh my God! You said a globe.
I was like so determined. I was walking back to New Jersey, and he said, "Well, let's go talk to your dad. He's planning a trip. Maybe we'll leave you there."
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
My dad about that? My uncle's like, yes. So he takes me home, and he says to my dad, he goes, when you go back on your vacation, you might want to leave her there. And I was so happy because I was going to stay. We went on our vacation, and my aunt back east, she's like, so I hear you can't stand California. And I put my hands on my hip, and I'm like, well, what's to love? All there is aqueducts, trees, and concrete. And my aunt's like, fair, yeah. Like,
fair,
literally. Literally. And then I said, am I staying with you? And she goes, what do you mean, are you staying with me? I said, my Uncle Bill said he was going to tell my dad to leave me here.
Oh my God.
I was determined. So no, they brought me back and I've been here. And then when I had this plan when I was 16, when I turned 18, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to there's trees and the seasons and stuff and get away from here. And then my junior year, I fell in love with my husband and he wasn't leaving.
And you're still here.
I'm still here.
Yeah. That's so funny.
We are.
You know what? When I was a kid, there was nothing more the second I saw a globe, like an old style spin around globe.
That's what I
It was
had.
like it was the most fascinating thing in my dad's office. Nothing beats a dad's 1980s, early 1990s office. The shrine to the computer area was just something that you just had to be there. You can't really describe it to other people unless you have the photo. But everything had a shelf. Cords were all organized. It was just a crazy thing. Obviously, phones replace everything, so nobody really needs that much bullshit. But it was crazy. Anyways, my dad had your classic green professor lampshade, and next to or green lamp, and then right next to it was a globe, and that globe was just like the second I understood what it was and what it meant, and I was like, okay, we're here. Yeah. Okay, we're here. I want to go here. So
yeah,
fuck here. I want to go here. So the second I understood where everything was, like, all right, so I need to go to Asia. So I probably need to hike for 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch. And I would go into the woods on these missions, like, cool, I'm going to go to Finland, or, oh, I'm going to go to Mongolia, or I'm going to go to Tokyo. And I'd go in the woods, and I would just be like, I gotta go that way. And I would disappear in the forest, like literally for like 10, 15 hours a day, like just freaking wandering to the woods. I had a really overreactive imagination. I remember like there was this area where there was like tons of like stink cabbages, those wet cabbages that grow in like the marsh. They're very common in New Jersey. I grew up in Homedale, New Jersey. And so I would have a stick. And immediately I was like having my Narnia moment, except it was like more like Never Ending Story back then. And I would be beating the skunk cabbage because I need to get out of the heart of the dark forest or I'll be banished here forever. And like just beating the stink cabbage, and the whole area would just smell like farts. And then it would confuse the bog witch that lived underneath, so I can escape to the next place. And it's amazing, all this crazy shit that would just come in your head when you were just allowed to explore.
We didn't have a forest, but because I grew up, well, not far from where I live now in Rancho Cucamonga. So there was like, I don't even know
how... You lived in concrete, aqueducts, and palm trees.
No, I lived in the middle of nowhere because it wasn't the Rancho Cucamonga today. There was... Maybe the 15 probably didn't go all the way through Norco at this point.
You probably...
or maybe it was just kind of starting. But so there was like, you get off the freeway, you would drive for 5 minutes. One community of homes in there.
Because Hamner was the route through
after you got
up
off
into San Bernardino. Yeah.
And so you'd get off, drive all this way on this 2-lane road. Baseline was a 2-lane road. And then there's this one community, and it was surrounded by a brick wall. So we would all climb over the brick wall and go playing in the desert, and we'd find dead snakes. And it was a fun childhood until my cousin chased me around with a dead mouse. That I did not enjoy. No.
Yeah.
And then I drove through it as an adult and was like, where the fuck did all these houses come from? Like, what happened to my field? And it's now Victoria Gardens is nearby.
Yeah. Like
that's crazy. I wish that I lived somewhere like long enough to be able to like watch a place change. That's really cool. So you're born and raised same place?
Pretty much, yeah.
So we moved, I think, in 77. Yes, 1977, I believe was the year. And ironically, my sister she was a baby when we moved. She had the thickest of the New Jersey accents of all of us. But she didn't even know how to speak yet. And she was, real thick. But I got to see that area. Like, I go into those areas I grew up as a kid. I can't recognize them. I don't recognize them. The cornfield that we used to cut through to get to the 7-Eleven store is now condos. I drove past it not realizing where I was. I will literally get lost in the neighborhood I grew up in because it's changed so much. But
that's changes. I don't want change. I miss my field.
I miss mine. The guys that had the farm stand, they would let us go cut through the cornfield and pick our corn and then go up, pay for it. But like before, like you came into the front of the farm stand, you could go you'd be given a basket to go pick your corn, but you'd have to pay for it first for your basket. Us, because we knew them, we pick our corn and then put it in the basket. But they always let us cut through so we'd go to 7-Eleven.
Oh, the good old days. Kids are ordering it on DoorDash.
Right? They don't even walk to 7-Eleven.
It is for just even in New York City's perspective of DoorDash. It's amazing. I never thought DoorDash would take off in New York because in New York City, on your New York City block, everything you need is within like 5 steps. Like whatever neighborhood you're in, you're in it. You have everything you need right there. But DoorDash is huge. I know people that literally walk. New Yorkers typically will walk 10 to 15,000 steps a day, but there's a new hybrid New Yorker that has to pay $400 to go to a gym to be able to walk because they walk maybe 5 steps around their apartment 45, 50 hours a week because they're working from home and I don't want to go out. I don't want to do anything. Meh. I think it is so bad. I think things like DoorDash, I understand it. I appreciate its convenience. I've used it before. I just think it's so bad. It really removes our connection with our food and our communities and our neighborhoods. And I understand the world's changing and these positions and roles are evolving. I don't want to be that old person that's like, why we need to do this the old-fashioned way. But it's just leaving our house to interact with our environment. It's just something that's so special, even if it's mundane.
Have you seen the DoorDash robots? They have them. No, I saw them when we were in Arizona. I have a video. I don't know if I could play it or not, but I was sitting. I forgot where we were eating at Chinese food, and I was sitting there in Arizona, and I looked up, and this thing came and parked in the parking spot, and I guess the robot contacted the Chinese food place, and they went out and brought the order and put it in there, and it closed it up. And then
actually, I think I've seen this in New Jersey. Not in the city.
It took off and it was going to an apartment complex to deliver the food. It was the cutest freaking thing. It was like a cross between a small little robot. It almost looked like a baby carriage for food with a robot. I don't.
That's exactly what I saw. That's exactly what I saw. I saw it in New Jersey, and it was crossing a street, and I thought it was helping someone cross the street because it was walking parallel with a human being. And I was like, all right, cool. Wow, my brain's cooked. That's really happening.
That's the cutest thing, though. I mean, it was the cutest robot I've ever seen.
It is cute. It is cute. I just, when I understand the mundane action of going to the store and buying things and picking up things, but it's just like, it's nuts in a city to me. It's crazy in a city because we live in cities so we can walk everywhere and not have to drive a car. So I can kind of understand in the burbs a little bit. But it's just seeing people in a city where it's like you are above a Chinese restaurant. You are next to Chipotle. You are next to Chase Bank. You are next to Whole Foods, which is across from Trader Joe's, which is next to Gristedes, which is next to Food Lion. And it's just like, and you're just like, it's crazy.
I forget what it is, but there's a scene in the cartoon where society has relied on robots so much. I forget what this is, what the name of it, but everybody was fat and they were in floating chairs and they were doing all the ordering and everything was coming. And then there's another scene. This was a while ago and I cannot remember it. There's another scene where everyone starts to realize they're fat, they're lazy, and they're sad because so they get up out of the chairs and they start to walk and they realize they even forgot how to walk. But it's like a little bit of that and a little bit of what was the Eaterocracy. Have you guys ever seen that?
Oh
that
my
movie?
God, yes.
Hate
Yes.
that movie with freaking passion, but I will quote it
so accurate
every chance I get because that is where we're kind of heading. Like,
yeah, no, I can totally. There's so many similarities of watching that movie, of just how, sometimes, again, brain is a muscle, and I think it's very easy to generalize. Like, again, just kind of like my, part millennial, part Gen X, but when I was in my 20s, everyone called me a millennial. And the boomers ripped on the millennials like left, right, and fucking center. We had targets on the back of our heads. Everything we did wasn't right. We suck. We're horrible. We suck. We're dumb. This, that, and the other. And so, like, I sympathize. I find myself sticking up for Gen Z, except if I'm on the receiving end of like employing somebody from that generation and it's not panning out too good. But for the most part, I do find myself sticking up a lot for Gen Z. I'm like, hey, listen, when I was, I hate saying when I was your age, but when I was your age, I came into a workforce, housing market crashed, economy was shit. You could have as many jobs as you wanted. You weren't going to able to afford to get a place to live. Like, I was the same situation. Apartments where I lived, I moved to a city to make money, and rent was $2,400, and you could maybe make fucking $500-$600 a week if you're lucky. And so I sympathize with a lot of what Gen Z is doing. They just have a tendency to have more balls to call it out, and they have a platform to be able to do so. So, like, it's I find myself meeting some really brilliant people of that age group with a lot of different perspectives. Some are from the country, some are born and raised in the city, and just it's I for that reason of being able to get so much perspective, I think there is hope for the future. I think in the dissonance of stupidity, there's also going to be those that shine the brightest. I think that when you have 100 people, everyone likes to think everybody is the same type of brilliant and the same type of smart. And no, you know what? Some people are intelligent in a different way. Some people are meant to be leaders. They're meant to be philosophers. Some are meant to be artists. Some are meant to be nonverbal. And I think when you look at it in that kind of perspective, you get a little less hopeless about the future.
Yeah.
A little bit.
See, I actually, I know this sounds really strange, but there's a group of Gen Z that I hang out with, and they have an intelligence, a different type of intelligence, but they also, if they don't understand something from my world, they're the first one to research it and tell me, hey, this about, what happened back then and blah, blah, blah. And I'll be sitting back there looking at them and I'm like, exactly. Like, but they'll take the time to research it. And we have a Gen Z girl. I always, and I mean this with 100% love. She is an old hippie soul stuck in a young person's body. She has smarts. She has happiness. She's that person that you could be in the worst mood of your life. You see her, and she could be having a bad day, but you'll never know she's having a bad day.
Sunshine and rainbows.
Her name is Ray, and I call her my ray of sunshine because it doesn't matter what mood she's in, she's spreading sunshine. But she has this old way of looking at things. Victoria doesn't matter. She's
the one I yelled at pretending to be Veronica.
She doesn't get yelled at.
Unless she's with.
No, I have a friend that's literally identically fits the description, and I said, I think that there should never be a generational war, and sometimes I feel like the media creates it, and even more so with social media. We all need each other. You know, with 7 generations alive, Generation Alpha. I think there's another one out now, but Generation Alpha to the Silent Generation. So we have all these different perspectives. We have people that were born in the 1930s, as well as people that have been born in 2025. So, or 2026. So or almost 2026. So I think that we all bring something useful to the table. And I feel that young people are often ignored and older people are often ignored, as as not having anything new to bring to the table. And I think that everybody's voice, not to sound like a cliche, but everybody's voice really matters. We have to learn from history, and it's easy for history to be rewritten. And that's why it's really great when I have my Gen X friends, I can pull up, like, no, I was there. I was there when this happened. I have the VHS. This is what happened. Or if you talk to, a boomer, same thing. Like, nope, I have documented proof. This is what happened. I was in the military. I served this and that. If you talk to the silent generation, same thing. People will literally give you the perspective of reality, and you can't capture that on the internet.
No.
So when what I'm catching a lot of is things coming on that, like AI created content trying to frame history to get people urged up about, oh, this is what this woman was doing in this century, da 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 da. And it's like, oh wow, I did a report on this when I was 9 years old. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. I have the flippin' book. This is what happened. That's AI. Not a human being did not write that. A human being.
Sorry.
Yeah. So it's. Oh, it's all good. So yeah, it's imperative that we all work together as we navigate this time. We're getting very comfortable and cozy with our computers to understand that human beings are the author of humanity. And so our elders are important, and young people are too, because they get to see from a very unadulterated lens that is very clean, pure, and enlightened in a different way than my generation, than the people that are older than us. And I think we all kind of bring something to the table.
Absolutely.
Well, and let's face it, when we see on social media as whatever generation is, you're like, oh God, this whole generation is stupid. It's usually the loudest ones are the stupidest, and they shouldn't represent of a generation.
Absolutely.
Wisdom isn't something that's generally, wisdom isn't always given and guaranteed with age and experience. Wisdom is something that I've seen instilled in young people. I've met somebody that I've met people in my life that were in their teens and preteens, and I was like, you are an ancient sage, salt of the earth, crammed in this child's body. And I hope that that you are mentored and you are guided during these troubling years in your future, because you're brilliant and you're going to change the way the world works. I've uncovered people in their teens, their preteens, 20s, where I'm just like, this person is brilliant. And I've also had random moments, like even just, I'm sitting in a park and there's an old person next to me. I'm like, oh man, I just want to listen to my music. I hope this person doesn't talk to me. And they do talk to me. And I'm like, you know what, let me be polite. I take out the headphone and I have the most enlightening, life-changing discussions with that person. And you just can't capture that on the internet in the same way of the analog world. And it's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Oh, the analog world.
The analog world. And let's not forget, commercial break. Everybody, don't forget what was the name of the product? Tasty Creations.
Sweet treats. Sweet treats.
Sweet treats. Let's do a quick ad break. Are you having a bad day? You have a bad day and you have 15 minutes on your hands? Order Sweet Treats. You'll have a good time, a sweet time, and you'll be able to turn those reports around in no time. Meow. Call 1-800-SWEET-TREATS.
So I did put into ChatGPT, because we're going to bring it all together now. I said, hey, can I get some ideas for a mobile company called Sweet Treats that sells cupcakes and dildos? And ChatGPT said that's definitely a bold and unconventional combo. If you're serious about it, it could work as a quirky niche, but you'll need to plan carefully so you're both legally compliant and have a brand identity that communicates clearly.
We're gonna need to be able to have drainage and a self-cleaning space.
My favorite part was there was a whole caution sign, legal and regulatory considerations. I was like, ooh, this is new. Since you're combining food and adult novelty items, you'll have two quite different regulatory tracks. Food, mobile, baking regulations. Yeah, we know all about that. Adult novelties, toys, sex
Well,
toys.
you want to know what? Make the sweet treat the gift, but the sex toy is what you buy. So you buy the sex toy and you get this bonus cupcake.
The sex toy is inside the cupcake. And it's like the not real sugar stuff, so it doesn't cause any issues. So you eat it, and then all of a sudden you're like, what is this? It is a dildo inside my cupcake.
Riding on the bus down the boulevard, and the place is getting packed. There was no room in the front. I had to sit with the perverts in the back. It was smelling like a locker room. There was junk all over the floor. There isn't any room for me to breathe. They're coming in to pick up more. Look out. Dun, dun, dun. Another one rides a bussa. Dun, dun, dun. Another one rides a bussa. And another comes on. Another comes on. Another one rides a bus. Hey, I got to get out of here. Get myself a sweet treat.
He gave me, I don't know if it's a he or she, offer some creative ideas. Offer event-specific services, e.g. bachelorette party. Subscription or surprise. Okay, I think there's something there with a surprise box. Are you getting cupcakes? Are you getting a sex toy or some type of combo? Pop-up adult-friendly venues.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Oh. Okay. I'm going to draft a full business plan and be like, can you integrate this with a podcast? And then, AI will be like, here you go, ma'am. And then you take that and you make your own ideas from it. See, that's how you use AI.
That's how you use AI.
Outline. I know. I'm like, do I want a cupcake or a dildo? Because I really don't know tonight. It could be both.
You could have both. You could have. Oh God, do you remember the South Park? Do you remember the South Park? Stan, it's me, the clitoris.
No, I'm still stuck on Mr. Hanky the Christmas poo.
Oh my God, it's me, the clitoris. Remember he was going to chef asking directions. Where's the clitoris?
Oh, I'm gonna have to download that one.
One of you's got to watch. One of you got to watch it. You're going to have to, literally, it is a giant clitoris ends up talking to, oh man, you're going to make me pull this up. We're going to need a moderator that's in charge of just pulling up crazy.
I'm trying to get at some point producer. I'm scared if I open YouTube, something else crazy is going to play.
It is. I'm opening it up right now. All right, hold on.
Just like my brother. There's the girl that I like. Hey, kid, tell about when Terrence caught me up a testicle shitting rental boy. Now more than ever, she gives me butterflies. It makes my stomach queasy every time she walks by. That's why I'm talking to you. I know I can be cool if I try.
All right, hold on. I don't want you to get copyrighted. I'm going to get to, there it is. Let me get right to the part.
Chef, how do you make a woman like you more than any other guy?
Oh, that's easy. You just gotta find the clitoris.
Huh?
Oops.
What does that mean, find the clitoris?
Forget I said anything. Move along, children. You're holding up the line.
You guys, do you know where I can find the clitoris? The what? What, is that like finding Jesus or something? Shelley, where's the clitoris? It's about freedom of speech, about censorship. Can't you guys be more political? Where's the girl
What I like.
Now it appears that she likes another girl. It must be because he's political and stuff. I bet I could be political too. What do you think, Stan? Damn it.
He keeps throwing up on the girl that he likes. South Park, the musical, was it rocked my world. I learned every single song. It's pretty bad. Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker. You're a donkey raping, ass eating Uncle Fucker. You don't eat or sleep or mow the lawn. You fuck your uncle all night long.
Oh! Howdy, ho, Kyle. Gosh, you're looking swell.
Who's that?
You know something, pal? You smell an awful lot like flowers. I said go away. My dad says you aren't real. Not real? Well, shucks. If I weren't real, could I sing this jolly Christmas song? Santa Claus is on his way. Loaded goodies on his sleigh. Drop him off on Christmas Day, and I'll say howdy ho. Mr. Hinky, shh. I'll give him trouble. Folks will gather around the fire, sing a song, fill the choir, play a song the whole entire, and I'll say howdy ho.
That everywhere. Oh my God. I love it. I absolutely love it.
All right, we'll pause the conversation here. It'll continue next week. Please give us a follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Pet Zone Podcast. Have a crazy customer story, confession, or just something else you'd like to share with the show? Please feel free to email us at info@petzonepodcast.com. Don't be shy. We can keep you anonymous if you like. Also, if you're a professional pet groomer, please feel free to check out the Facebook group, Mobile Groomer Zone. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the show on any podcast platform you're listening on, and share it with a friend. Until next time.